Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our today's session. I'm your host and coach, Maratib Alishad. Today, this session will last around 20 to 30 minutes, and this session is about the seven habits success story we have taken from the book of Living with the Seven Habits and its principle written by Stephen R. Covey. And it is a series of success stories we are reading, and we are trying to learn that how they are implementing uh, some principles from the seven habits, and it have helped millions of people to improve their personal life, professional life, and the family life as well. So today, the story which we are going to read and more importantly learn is "Silence is Golden," and this "Silence is Golden." I will tell you the briefly story first, and then I will also tell you about what the outcome or the learning goals for today's session, and in other ways why you should attend this session and what you will take home from this 30 minutes in this session. Uh, and after that, we will take a 2 minutes break and we will have a second session on our spiritual intelligence, and in which we are reading the positive feelings in regards with the relationship improvement. And today's our topic is connectedness. I will not brief you about second session now, uh, and that I will brief you on after 30 minutes. So first, let's go to the our first session. And before I go to brief our first session, I would like to tell you that there are a couple of networks where you can connect with me with my business service. I am Marathi, and my blog is maratibalisha.com. There is a YouTube link as well. You can connect with me on YouTube, subscribe my channel as well for coming updates as well. And at the moment, I'm live on my Facebook group as well, uh, and also with my Zoom audience and on the YouTube audience as well. So, and there is a description everywhere I have put there. So the best experience you can do if you can come on the Zoom, because I'm sharing my screen and where you will have more interactive experience to learn more faster in the way. So let's start our today's session. So today you are going to learn a very important subject of today's world is about relationship, especially the relationship between children and the parents, which is very poor nowadays. Many parents are struggling to handle their teenagers, especially. And this success story is about a father who used to have silence with his daughter, and the daughter used to not talk with her dad once she used to come from the school, and she used to live her own life, and I mean she didn't bother to speak more than one or two words to the dad, and dad was very anxious that why my daughter is not talking with me whenever she comes from school. So she because he was a wise person, so instead of he made the question to the teenager or making her put in trouble, like becoming more angry or becoming more authoritative with the daughter, uh, he became a different dad, and then he did something wisely, and then after that couple of days his daughter started to talk with the dad, and she started to share her feelings. So from this success story, We will learn that how we can turn a situation from non-communication to communication phase. Also, we can learn about how we can let other to open up their inner feelings without uh, without force or without any authoritative type of pattern, behavior pattern or attitude we show. Maybe not specifically with the teenagers, but also with our spouse or in an office if we have subordinates or employee as well. So we have to have a ethics and proper way to get someone's head so that other person can show their inner feelings. Um to, and empathy is a great spirit for that. We will learn from this story as well. And more importantly is how the seven habits will help you to making more things in your in your grip, in your favor, without controlling the other person, without controlling the teenagers, without controlling your partner, so that they can open up and we can you both can achieve the common goals. And obviously enlightenment and delightful manner we can live a healthy life. So there are a couple of things we can think. So it's all about relationship building. It's all about habit number 4, 5, and 6 we need to practice, which refer to uh, and encourage the people to have a great inner interpersonal relationship. And so let's see that how the silence helped that dad to speak, to have listened from his daughter by empathy or by making some other useful action based on wisdom. And more importantly, silence uh, proved a great tool for him, rather than to asking too much question or probing the other person. Like I said, putting the other person in even in a guilty or in fear when this, because we need to understand that teenagers, they usually don't speak openly with parents. There is a gap between parents and teenagers nowadays. So parents don't have good techniques and good ethics to how we can get into the head of the teenagers so that they can open up, they can share their inner feelings, and we can live a more healthy in a relationship. So, uh, so let's start it. Usually, we learn and we read the story from the book as it is, and then we interpret and we explain different dimension from the different section of the story. So my Zoom audience is always very kindful to me. So she they help me to read this for you. For my Facebook audience, you can listen what they are speaking, and then we will continue uh, to elaborate some of the great aspect of the story, the success story, that what happened between dad and the daughter. It's two paragraphs. It's a very short story. Um, but there are some chunks we can get for us. Uh, but always remember that never allow yourself to implement anything or follow any great things in future. You can't uh, apply and learn things in future. You have to apply now, because the only uh, you have now moments to implement or to change your mind straight away. Don't wait for future. If you learn something great today and you're thinking you are going to implement, uh, and you are putting your conditions to apply some great learning from you. So never allow these things. So let's start to read this book, this quick story, and then I will explain some of the gems from the story. We can take it. So, but the overall brief thing I have shared with you already. So let's start it. I would ask Jenny if she can read it for us, please.
A year or so ago, my daughter Nell and I had fallen into a troubling routine. She would come home after school and I would ask her how she was doing, and she would say, "Fine." That was it. I could only get one or two words out of her. It had become a daily routine of non communication. By asking her questions each day when she got home, it seemed like I was only exasperating the tension. I remember reading once that one way to deal with someone who does not want to communicate is to break the routine. So one day when Nell came home, I asked her how she was doing. But when she gave me the standard one word response before heading to her bedroom, I said, "You don't want to talk to me, do you?" She stopped instantly, gave me a strange look, and said no. And I went to her room. That was the end of it. But I knew I had touched her feelings.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So it's just starting of the story, and he is eager to speak with her daughter, who is not speaking more than one or two words when she used to come from school, and that's quite a commonly attitude we seen in teenagers in our societies. Obviously, there is a communication gap. Obviously, there are generation gap. Obviously, there are so many walls between parents and the teenagers nowadays. So obviously, teenagers they don't open up, and parents uh, could not understand the teenagers and children, and the problem further goes to in conflicts, in misunderstanding, misjudgment, and obviously it impacts the negatively upon quality of parents life, and also emotional life of teenagers as well. So let's start what happens when he tried to ask that you don't want to talk with me, do you? So that was a question which he felt that has pushed his daughter uh, to and touched her feelings. And now let's see whether she will open up or not. We will learn from the second paragraph. So I would ask Cynthia if she can read it for us, please.
The next day, I repeated the new routine. This time, when I said she didn't want to talk to me, Nell said, "Not right now, Dad." That went on for a few days before slowly and on her own terms, Nell began talking more to me. Then one day, I was sitting at the kitchen table thinking about something, in a sort of trance while she was doing the dishes. I was quiet, not talking to her, even though she was just a few feet away, and it must have bothered her that I wasn't asking her questions as usual. All of a sudden, she started talking about her day, and she brought me out of my trance. It struck me that suddenly she was sharing her feelings with me, and it was so wonderful I got tears in my eyes. Sometimes I think the most valuable tool for communication with teenagers is silence.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great reading. So that's all about the this success story. But what is the silent message we can get from this story? That the for parents and sometime for carers who usually shout and speak aggressively and in authoritatively as well to teenagers, and they want to know about what are in the head and the heart in the teenager of the children, because they care about, but the method which they use is quite not really humanistic, rather than it's more violently, and it provoking the conflict between two uh, two groups, parents and children, or even husband and wife. When husband and wife there is a gap, and if wife wants to ask something, what are the inner feelings of the husband on particular topic, or the same thing is husband wants to know what's the inner feeling of my wife in certain situation. But the way how they do, and uh, too much questioning, and questioning incorrectly can put the other person in challenging way, in some problematic way, and like in this story. Um, but uh, if we use the right words, if we manage ourselves, then, and if we take more help from our silence, then sometimes the silence speaks louder than what we are talking about. I know we believe on strong communication, strong verbal communication in our everyday life. That's how we are being trained in the society, that you have to communicate your speaking, your words to other person. But we often forget that there is 90% impact of our body language. The body language 90% contributing when you are making a conversation, and 10% only your uh, tone or the selection of the text or the word we are using does impact. So silence is one of the body language which we can put into to the other person, and the other person, you can give the space to other person to open up and think, and then uh, you start to listen to her or him or other person. So that's why in the silence, we have to practice silence, even in a greater peaceful practicing what we are taking in the society, what we are doing in our society is that uh, we use silence as an alternative, great methods to other person to open up, to share the inner feelings, and that's the story of for our today. I would like to read and tell you what the Stephen Covey thinks about from the story. And Stephen Covey concluded from this story that sometimes the questions are so autobiographical and controlling that the people don't want to talk about the deeper and the most vulnerable issue. Like in this story, she was reluctant to speak with her dad about her feelings and more and important issues. And also, he said also in our in the details that uh, when we go to in a jungle, and if we speak louder in the jungle, do you think that you are inviting the other animals to come to you? Or if you go into the jungle, remain silent, and then the animals or the other birds will come to you automatically? So he's saying once you will, your silence will speak and invite others to come to you. It's exactly like you are sitting on a beach and you are silent there, and crabs, sand crabs start to come towards you, even you are not speaking. So these are the things which other person I mean you can remain silent and other person start to speak. And it's quite natural according to Stephen Covey. He's also saying that the teenagers want to talk, and they really do, but they want to open up as well, but they want feel that is it safe if they will open with their parents, because we have put conditions. We don't want to listen certain things from the teenager. We don't want to hear from a teenager. We don't want to hear and listen certain type of uh, things, feelings, thoughts from our partner, and that's therefore they become reluctant, and this gap becomes bigger and bigger until it converts into a conflict and misjudgment, and then obviously it ends with the breakup as well. So that's from the Stephen Covey what he thinks about. And before I conclude it from today's session, this first session, uh, if you have any question or you want to share any story, uh, then let me know. I will try to explain it, and we can learn from each other. So, if you have any question, let me see if we have a thing here. Okay, right. So, in the last we will we need to take some quick things what we learned today, that how we can improve non-communication situation into the communication phase. That's we learned. We also learned that the silence is the best tool for the communication with the teenagers or with any other relation we can do. We also learned that controlling the other person is not a great idea to speak or build a relationship or to know the other person's feelings, especially when you have some authority on other. So still you need to be silent and patient before you want to know the other person's feelings and thoughts in the mind. And also we learned that some people wants to talk with their own terms, so let them do as well. Like teenagers, sometimes they want to talk on with their own terms rather than to with the terms of the parents. So we have to do listening the other person is a very emotional. Like in this story, when the dad's daughter opens up, what happened? He cries. He literally cries. I mean, it is very emotional. Although it's looked like a very small event for someone's family, that but it is a very emotional when somebody we hear some inner feelings from some dear one, and at last they open up. It is emotional. I think many of people who are watching this, they must have some situation in their life when you heard, you listen, someone personal feeling, very inner touching feeling, and then you become emotional. Also, the silence is the best action, and you can talk with your environment. Silence. That's why the meditation is a great tool. Because in a meditation, you speak. You don't speak. You actually speak silence, and you then suddenly you start to be revealed a lot of things from environment, and you feel that there is some nature or God or Allah, they are speaking with you, or other creatures start to connect with you. So that is also, but that's a different spiritual approach I'm talking about. In the last, Stephen Covey also mentioned what we. I will tell you that he said we have 2 ears and one mouth, so we need to use accordingly. So it means that we have two ears, and we need to more focus on listening other, and speak less because we have one mouth. But we do other way around in our daily life, in our offices. we speak more and listen very less, and therefore we have a lot of problem. So we need to use our this thing. And he also says that interestingly, the ears never close, but the mouth can close. So this is another breaking news. I mean, we did not realize it, but it happens that if somebody is speaking, you cannot shut down your ears, but you can close your lips. So we have more control on the lips and on our mouth. Uh, but obviously the ears, we cannot stop ourselves to listen someone, even if we don't want to listen. So it means that listening is a great habit. Listening is by default in our physiology. We are built in to listen more things, uh, to understand the other person statement or motive. So that's it from our today's success story. Next week, I will bring a new success story from Seven Habits from the book, and I will share with you. We will try to learn, and we will take some principle from these stories, and we will try to implement in our life so that we can live better life. We can get uh, our goals and achieve our purpose, what we intend to achieve. So that's it. I hope you enjoy this quick session. And so next week we will come with the new story. So after, we will take a 2 minutes break, and after 2 minutes we will do our next session, which is related with the solutions with spiritual intelligence, and we are learning relationship improvement. And today's topic is connectedness, that how connectedness is playing a great role to align with someone and create an ideal relationship, and under what circumstances we can be connected, and what does it mean to connected with someone uh, in a spiritual way, in a more, it's more deep and thoughtful. uh, it's not surface level reading or learning. In a second session, it's very deepful. So you stay with me. I will close this session on Facebook, and after 2 minutes I will come again on the same Facebook group with the second session. So stay with me, and we'll join in very shortly again. Thank you so much. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our today's session. I'm your host and coach, Marathib Alishad. Today, this session will last around 20 to 30 minutes, and this session is about the seven habits success story we have taken from the book. Um, Welcome to our today's session. It's a second session for our today's commitment, and this session is all about spiritual intelligence and solutions with spiritual intelligence, rather. Um, and this is again the series of relationships improvement topic we are covering from last 5 weeks, and today is week number 6 of this series, and we are covering in relationship the positive feelings topic. And in positive feelings today specifically we will learn about connectedness. And connectedness is so important, and why it is important, and what does it mean by connectedness, that we are going to learn today. So um, and it will take around to 20 to 30 minutes um, for this session, and let's see how we will take it further. Let me open up my slide for second session. And this is the thing we are taking from our well-renowned psychiatrist, Dr. David Hawken, from his legend book "Letting Go," in which spiritually, in a more deepful way, in by going in more depth of the topics of every day what we are experiencing, it belongs to us. Uh, that how our relationships can improve, or the problems with our relationship, in regards to understanding how we can build them, then how we can understand them, and how we can acknowledge the the negative things, so that they can dissolve automatically, and we can achieve ideal relationship. So, in today's session, why this session is important for you? This session is important for you for 9 reasons. There are 9 things you can learn from this session. The number one is we can learn that what are the higher values, higher feelings means. We often talking about feelings of love, feelings of empathy, compassionate, abundance. So, what does it mean? That we will learn. We will learn about how we can increase the self-esteem of other people, uh, rather than to increase the self-esteem of ourselves. We will learn this thing as well. We will also learn why we need to let go negativity from ourselves, why we don't need to be negative, why. So this is a thing we will learn as well. Also, how we can accomplish goals and purpose effortlessly in family and in organization, why we are not able to achieve goal easily. We made goal, we make and we follow a system as well, but unfortunately we seldom achieve them. We uh, don't uh, I mean, make them 100% as a achievement or accomplished goal as well. They we stop ourselves in the middle of achievement. Why is that? That we will learn as well. Also, why does really it mean by connectedness, which is our main topic for today? Also, what effect it brings, the connectedness bring for both person who are going to be connected with each other. That we will learn. We will also learn what does it mean by true self, what is mean by self, and especially the true self. It's a very detailed topic. Obviously, I will not cover this detailed topic here, but obviously on a basic level, we will touch that thing as well. We will learn also how we can stop ourselves by from hiding the things from other, why we hide information, why we do not open up with other, what the problem with we have, why. That we will also learn. The last thing which we can learn from today, but not the least, that the which relations with actually solid relations uh, we can have in our in our life as a friend? Or in others say, what are the relations, what type of relationship can be the great friends or in a friendship with you? That's a very interesting, isn't it? It's more like a secret, uh, that if I tell you that relation with other person will be a great relation for you as a friend. For example, your wife or your husband or your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or your neighbor can be the best friend of you in your life ever. If I tell you, how does it sounds? It's interesting, isn't it? Because we never think about in the friendship in the way that any person in certain relationship can be a great friend of mine, or I can be a great friend of someone. And if it is, which relationships or which social relations are the ideal for that, that we will learn at the end. And so let's start our today's session. We will read from the book Letting Go. um, and there are around four paragraphs, yeah, 4 5 paragraphs. So we will learn from. It's a very interesting topic because we often listen and watch a lot of documentaries, a lot of uh, videos on YouTube um, about negativity, about negative feelings, bad feelings, and why this happened, what are the causes. But we don't know what are the real habits and real values, which is playing a great contribution in building positive feelings, such as courage, willingness, connectedness. uh, I can do it. That's positive vibes. What will happen, how we can get these feelings, really truly feelings, not on a superficial level, not on a surface level, not on a very ordinary level, but really truly in a real level, in real manner, how we can have positive feelings. And then we will learn uh, that how connectedness can help us to maintain the positive feelings uh, between two people, uh, as a husband and wife, as a parent and child, as a boss and employee, between the work associate, also um, between politicians, um, between two political parties, opponents with each other. So that we can implement with any of our social groups. So let's start it. I would request Jenny, if you can read it, please.
Positive feelings. The higher feelings of courage, willingness, confidence, capability, can do, zest, humor, confidence, self sufficiency, and creativity have an emotional purpose, effective actions, operation, and accomplishment. The reason of other persons will reflect back to us cooperation, courage, respect, and a willingness to be with us. Additionally, because we increase their self esteem, they seek our company. As we look at all of this, we see that there is a wonderful payoff in return for our willingness to let go of the negative feelings that stand in the way of these higher feelings, which effortlessly accomplish our real goals and purpose.
Yes, thank you. It's a great reading. So, um, all positive feelings which we just listen from the reading have higher moral purpose, and emotional purpose as well, and that leads to creativity. We become so happy. our family become happy, or people which we are associate with them, our company becomes so happy, our department in the company become so productive, doing productive work, and start to achieve their goals and purpose, whether it's financial goals or they are moral goals, or if they have something other nature of goals. So we start to feeling the positive feelings are truly feelings which we have by default, but actually they are override, they are overlaid, and they are occupied by negativity, clouds of fears, anxiety, depression, deceiveness, hypocrisy. So all things cover our these positive feelings, and they suppress, and we mostly think that, oh, these positive feelings are not with us. And how we can do this, actually they are already lie inside, but they are suppressed by your ego, they are suppressed by your negative things which you learn from society. And you have to get rid of, you have to get rid of from these things. So these are the things which we need to do. uh, Also, we can learn about that what are, when we are operating on a level of acceptance, enjoyment, warmth, gentleness, softness, uh, trustingness, inner truth, and faith, the emotional purpose of which the other person respond are those love, enjoyment, pleasure, harmony, peacefulness, understanding, and sharing. They start to share. Why people don't share? Because lack of these things, lack of insecurity, uh, they have. But if they are enjoying, they are harmonized, they are in peaceful, they are understanding the other, then obviously they start to sharing and they will open up. uh, their reaction to us will be one of acceptance, satisfaction, um, feelings in tune, feeling understood and joy, and they will automatically return our love. Uh, so these are the vibes you transfer to other and you get in return as well. He also says that it is rather obvious that the reciprocals bring about success in whatever the venture may be of the other person, whether it's vocational, social, personal, or a simple everyday business interaction. So that's where the other person uh, can bring these things in your life as well. So let's try to understand what is connectedness mean, because that background of positive feelings you must have that. But now let's try to learn that what does it mean by connectedness. uh, and connectedness is I will ask Cynthia if you can start read for what does it mean by connectedness.
And our inner feelings are of peacefulness, serenity, tranquility, stillness, openness, and simplicity. The effect on other persons is to increase their awareness along with our own and to give them a greater sense of freedom, perfection, unity, and at oneness with ourselves. In their relationship with us, they will feel joined, they will identify with us, they will understand at a deep level, and they will feel in communion with us. As a consequence, they will seek our presence because in it they feel complete, recognized, and contented. They will experience an increased awareness of their own self. They will feel higher in our presence or when they think of us.
Thank you, it's a great reading. So, like you just realize from the reading that how the other person will join you, and they will both have in alignment, like a one, or we call it oneness. You have feeling of oneness. Have you in any experience of such a relationship in your personal life? Maybe these relation or these type of feelings and connectedness you may have with your wife or with your husband, or maybe with your brother or sister, or maybe with your parents, or with your teacher, or more importantly, possibly with your any of great and close friend. This connectedness is so vital and so achievable and so warm from inside that if we have this connectedness with our other person, then our life is like a paradise. Life is like you are living in a paradise proper, in a real way, because you will understand other person exactly in the same way what he or she is feeling about certain situation or other, like truly empathy. The other person feel when they are connected, they open with each other, you know, and more importantly they start to know about real self. So when you start to feel and know about your real own self, when you are connected with someone, and that someone could be your guru or mentor, uh, or your saint which you belongs to, or maybe in many religious tradition, that connectedness and the other could be your God, your Allah, your your any person which you belongs to, and you are connected as a and take them as a divine power for yourself. So this connectedness, if it comes in any relationship, you are just flying. And but this connectedness is not easy because you have to have do certain things and wipe the completely negative values out of from your life. Then you can connect with other things. You have to purify your heart. You have to uh, focus on the negative energy, so that they can dissolve, and your positive energy will revealed automatically when you wipe the negative energy, and then your relationship becomes super good uh, in this. So um, the author further says that their response back to us will that of love and gratitude for blessing of our presence as well. So the presence of the other person or feeling of their presence is a blessing, you know. Even they are at that certain distance, still they will you are connected with them. And that's how that's also the power of God. When you are connected with your God, no matter your God or your divine person, anywhere you think that you are with him or her now, and you feel so serenity, so joyful, and there is no limit to explain that feeling. In such a relationship, goals are automatically and effortlessly accomplished. Imagine if you do not have any wall between you and your boss, what will happen? You will have a great potential to show at work with your boss, and your boss can achieve any goal with your closeness, um, and with your trust which you are going to have with each other, to accomplish, to achieve financial goals, or some tasks, or uh, some manufacturing goals if you have done, uh, you have set. So all things start to do. But once you must be aligned with each other as a team, as a connecting. And I know it's difficult. This type of connectedness we cannot do um, with boss and employee, or between workers, because they are in very artificial environment at work. I understand this, but imagine that if it's not an artificial environment you perceiving. If you feel that your office is like your home, then the people are working there will be like your family members. And once feel like a family member, you can start build up the same connectedness with them as well. It is difficult, I know. But this is more relevant with your personal, in a family environment, or where there is a husband or wife, or uh, where partners are living. Possibly there will be the children, or you're living with your parents, or parents are connected with you. That type of feeling you can get there. And actually this is not only the feeling, this is the reality, because once you connected with them, then you connected forever, because this connectivity is your natural thing, because psychological you are connected with other person, and the things which are psychological connected with other person remains forever, or at least for long term, until some other transformation start to happen. That's a different thing. But in a normal circumstances, the psychological attachment, um, as a connectedness, is a great blessing for us and for our life. So uh, let's try to learn further about connectedness. So I would ask Jenny, if you can read it, please.
It is on this level that so called telepathic phenomena occur with regularity. When we are in total harmony with another person, there is no desire on our part to withhold or guard any thoughts or feelings. Because the other person responds similarly, there is an effortless knowing of what is crossing the other person's mind and what their passing feeling states may be. There is a total acceptance of our own humanness and that of the other. If we are really in tune with others, we forgive them when we see a passing jealousy or reactivity. We realize it is only natural, and we know that they in return are aware of our passing resentment. Yet they are overlooking it. They accept our humanness and they understand the situation. They know us so well that they recognize the likelihood of a passing resentment in certain situations, but they know also that they are going to let it go. The people with whom we share a relationship of loving acceptance are okay with our humanness and their own. No matter the surface emotions, we remain aware of the shared alignment of love, acceptance, and harmony with each other and the world.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So if you see what we learn from this text from the psychiatrist David Hawkins, that when we are in total harmony with other person, there is no desire on our part to withhold or guard any thoughts or feeling, because the other person responds similarly. And that's a problem in our today's life, that we are very detached with other person, so that what we respond, the other person never respond back in the same spirit. And obviously we try one or two time, and because we are not connected with that person, that's why we will never be connect or create a great relationship with that person. And that's a problem with today's world. So we have to find the ways how we build connectedness with that person. It's difficult when the other person is not connected and you try to connect. But in my experience, many people who are connected, or who connects, they connects automatically, they connects effortlessly. Just, but more importantly, you have to believe on connectedness. If you don't have idea what does it mean by connectedness, what the harmony means, what the empathy mean, what the abundance and love means, what the compassion meaning is, and it happens in our personal and professional life, at workplace or at home as well, or in any social location, then we cannot achieve this. We have to believe on this. That's more important. That's very important thing we need to understand. So let's try to learn the last paragraph, and then after that we will do some more discussion in connectedness, uh, about creating positive feelings, permanent positive feeling. That's These are not positive feelings. Just we feel momently, and then they disappear. No, no. We are talking about something more deeper. We are talking about something more, um, what is called valuable, more positively everlasting one we are talking about. So let's try to read the last paragraph. If I ask Cynthia if she can read this, please.
This level of communication actually can be reached with everyone. It does not have to be someone with whom we are intimately associated. Very often we experience at first with our friends with whom there is less at stake than intimate family members. Another situation where often occurs is the course of an average life. In the course of an average life, is with an ex-lover, with this person to whom we have revealed so much. Now that there is no longer anything romantic at stake, a friendship might develop in which it is no longer necessary to hide anything. There can be truly open communication, honesty, and integrity. We see that not infrequently. We see this not infrequently in couples that have separated or divorced. Once the turmoil has settled down, they get along easily and may even remain the best of friends for many years.
Thank you. It's a great reading, and there is a great message for many people. Um do you know, when the people get divorced or when they are separated for many reasons, maybe some aggressive or emotional reason, they get divorced, when they come across that we cannot live with each other. Uh, and actually, what happens when we, in this situation, more probably 99% we are in negativity mode when we are separating from someone, or we are in divorce situation, and the other person is also in negativity mode. And when we have a negative values with us, and obviously we try our best to not to separate with each other, because we don't have positive feelings, we are not connected with each other, therefore we don't know each other the right point of view, and we don't understand each other the way it should be. So therefore we become separated. And then what happens when we separated, we get divorced, then the hot and warm temperature of both people's mind and the situation becomes cold when the times pass. So after many months and maybe years, when the everything this turmoil settles, and when we look back, oh, we used to be a lover of each other. Oh, once we were husband and wife. Oh, once we were in relationships and very tense relationship. And now there is no relationship. Now there is no romance. Now there is no love between us. But why we were separated? Why we broke up our relationship? Then once, because now we have positive vibes, now we have a sense to look back and think critically what happened, then mostly people become very surprised that on such a silly things we decided not to live with each other. And And now, uh, in this situation, after many years or many months, when we reconnect with my ex lover, when we reconnect with my ex wife or ex husband, to share something important as a friend, then we feel greatly. Sometimes we feel absolutely connectedness that was not possible when we were husband and wife. That was not possible when we were in some relationship. Therefore, many people, and it's a trend, and actually it's not trend, it was for many generations, that when people have divorced with each other, and before divorce they used to love each other, they had a great intimacy, and now for some reason they divorced, they separated, and after a few years when they come back to each other as a friend, as a general relation, then they become super best friend, then they become a great best friend ever, uh, because now they don't have any formal relationship like husband and wife, which our society has given and taught us. So now, obviously, we are in a relationship which is better than husband and wife, which was better than any other relationship. So, therefore, many psychiatrists and researchers found that when you reconnect with your ex husband, when you reconnect with your ex wife or ex lover, with the positive vibe, when your life is totally in a new direction, but still you need a friend and you want to connect with someone, then try to connect with your ex lover. Obviously, I'm not saying that this is a hard and fast rule, or you must try, or you can ask other person to do and connect with your ex friend. No, I'm not talking about that. Connectedness can happen with any relationship, but more importantly, what I'm referring, and the author is referring, that when there is the high and great um, chances to connect with other one, and then you can get this connectivity, and these communication and these vibes can happen only when you have positive feelings, believe on abundance, believe on love, believes on empathy, believes on compassion, believe on um, power of alignment, being oneness, uh, then you can start to have. So uh, that's the important information. So try to become a friend who can be best in being as a connectedness with you, and you are connected with him or her, or with any person. um, so this is the but the basic spiritual principle is, uh, there is connectedness. There are values which you can practice, and you can follow, you can understand, and connect with your God, connect with any relationship which you want to do. So that's the importance of connectedness. And if you have any question or you want to share any story, please let me know. I will more than happy to listen to you. Otherwise, we are at the end, that what the messages and take home points we can learn. I can share with you from today's session. You have any question? Let me see my Facebook if you have.
Sometimes kids have a different way of sending a message to us about not wanting to talk, and we often interpret that as something's really, really wrong. And when it really isn't wrong, um, but they just have a different way of telling you that they don't want to talk. I have an 11-year-old grandson, and I pick him up 3 days from a week from school. First thing I always say to him is, "Hi, how was your day?" And that could be an open book, or that could be he doesn't want to talk. But it's and at first I always thought there was something maybe emotionally wrong, when really it is probably so minor, something that happened in school. But they do send us a variety of messages that sometimes we have to be better at interpreting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the earlier story, which in the dad, how he tried to connect with his daughter through power of silence. So we have to exercise this, and even if you are exercising already or using the other uh, tools of wisdom to connect with someone, especially the teenagers. Uh, we need to remember that the teenagers are the age group which we also used to belong to, and now we see them as a and we criticize them, or even if we know not criticizing, they are perceiving that we will criticize if they will open up, if they will share their any that experience which we don't want to listen. We so then obviously they will give you very very uh, short messages, short response, which is obviously embarrassing for many parents and guardians as well. But all the time, the best thing, we have to become a friend of our teenagers. We have to become a friend of our wife and husband, so that we always be aligned. That's the main, a very simple formula we can have. If you are not a friend, it means there are walls between you and him or her. And if there is a wall, then obviously, whenever they come from work or when they come from school, they speak very silently. They speak and respond you rudely, uh, and that will happen. Try to become friend. Friend is the make you connect with other person, and every person is different. Every person is almost have a different background, that how we can connect with other person, even the teenagers. But more probably the teenagers, if they are silent, or they speak rudely, or they don't talk more often, it means that there is gap, and you need to know what are the gap, and you need to fill, and let other person, the teenagers, to give a environment they can speak anything about you. Even they can speak with you any sexual relationship if they have. They should be able to speak with you even if uh, they have been approached by a bad group of people, and he or she is involved in drugs as well, or maybe in pornographical stuff as well. They You need to have a relationship that they should talk with you on anything, and then you can influence on them. Otherwise, there is no way, that they always will hide. And that's why the problem is that teenager crimes in our societies are too much, because these crimes in which they try to hide from their parents when they were going to indulge or connect with these type of evil or bad activities. uh, if they would have told you when they were about to involve in these activities, uh, b- so just before committing the crime, you would be uh, a better person to influence on them, not to indulge it. I remember, I tell you my story. I have a teenager boy, my son. I'm very proud of him. Once I start to feel that he come across with different type of people in school, with different tendency they could have. Then what happens? I try to become friend, and I open very openly, like I speak with my friend. And what happened? It gives him confidence to speak those things which he could not speak with me as a dad, uh, or as a son. And I want him to open any wall between him and me, and then he speaks with me very openly, and I don't even ask why this happened, why, and even I don't show him my face gesture that it it's very awkward for me. I just listen as a friend in a gossip way, and then from there I teach him, not in a teaching way, and from another angle, not on that moment, but the same situation in another day, so that he should not feel that that I am teaching him based on that story which uh, he shared with me, and because otherwise he will stop next time to share these type of things, because he will feel that now my dad is acting like a dad, and now because he's teaching me, it means that he did not like that thing, and that, so that's a strategy I follow myself, and it really on the spot, and it gives him confidence all the time. And now anything he come across in his school, or he learned in a school, um, or from society or from his friend, he only speaks with me uh, as a friend. And then obviously I try to minimize or no gap between him and me, and because I want to be connected with my son, uh, and that's the way how we can build ideal relationship, not only between children but between husband and wife as well. Because husband and wife, why they have conflict? Because they don't want to become friend of each other. They try to find and they seek friend outside of their relationship. So what about if they become a friend? Then you don't need any true friend outside of relationship. What happens if you have a sexual partner as a best friend of you? Imagine what the synergy you will build with that partner, when you are sharing your bed, when you are sharing your body, when you are sharing your mind as well, and exactly you are connected with each other. Do you need any other soulmate, or are you seeking other soulmate other than your wife or husband or any other relationship? No, you will not, you will not need. Why we do not become soulmate of each other after marriage or after a relationship? Because we don't want to do this. We think that the soulmate is something which cannot be husband and wife. We think that always the soulmate are those which are which cannot be a friend. So that's why we do not achieve these things. So we have to change in our paradigms before making a relationship, rather than to make your husband or your wife a best friend after your divorce. uh, it's the best time you can raise your hand, give a high expectation to your partner, that now you are open to you to stay and become uh, like a connected person, absolutely, with your heart, with your mind, with your soul, and now start to share. And sharing will open up the door. Then, obviously, if you decide it, then never hide anything. The problem is we try to become clever. We try to share the thing to with my partner, the thing which we want to share, and we are expecting that now the other person should share everything with me because I have shared. No, you have shared just chunk of the things. You need to open up. Then the other person will also open up. It's a psychological. If you will hide something, other person will hide as well. Even you don't bothering, and you are lying to the other person, your partner, that, oh, now you are my soulmate. No, once you will be soulmate, you don't need to tell him or her that you are soulmate. Other person will get a silent message and will understand that you are not soulmate of other. You don't, then you don't communicate through your mouth, you will communicate through your souls. And that's an important thing which you will understand. So that's important, that communication which you connect, which you do through your souls, through your body language, is much more powerful. Just we are just uttering and speaking from our mouth. It's a 5-10% impact of the words which we speak. And mostly we words speak we just learn from the society. Mostly words we speak through our mouth are not our reflection of our truly self, um, but what we are reflecting through our soul, our body language, very much connected through our soul. And that person, other person, takes the silent message from your thing. And that creates the great relationships between children, between husband and wife, and or any groups as well. So that's the today's session. I would like to highlight couple of points which we have learned through today's session. That there are great notions and higher values, like peacefulness, serenity, tranquility, stillness, openness, simplicity, oneness, unity, acceptance, humanness, empathy, love. All these are values, and we must connect with them. We need to know what these are. These are not just our dictionary words, these are really verbs and nouns both, and we need to use and apply in our life. We must increase self-esteem of other, so that other person be self-aware to connect with you. That's the important message we also learned. We also learned from today's message, we need to let go negativity that stands in the way of these higher feelings which I just spoke about, which effortlessly accomplish our real goals and purpose. So also we did learn that we can accomplish goals and purpose effortlessly within family and at our workplace as well, by connected with each other. Through the power of connectedness, we can do. We also learned that connectedness is a real paradigm, is a real perspective which we through which we can align with other boss, with other husband or wife, with other teenager, or with other friend, whatever. Knowing the true self is to connect with your any person or with your God through connectedness. Because we are not holding negative, there is nothing we wish to hide from other. And this openness allow other person to drop all defenses. Why other people try to hide from things? Because we are not connected with them. If we are connected with them, then they don't hide anything. They don't use any self defense techniques or cleverness. Or the same thing, you don't use any uh, self defense or mechanism. There is no mechanism between people who are connected with each other. Have you experienced this? Have you been in any relationship that where the other two persons are they never hide anything each other with each other? They never do or use any tools of self defense because they don't see each other as a threat. That's the way. Completely surrender to each other, completely know each other. And that happens. But we don't know because we have been trained, we have been nurtured in our society through school, through our media. to have doubt on each other, to have a complex thought about other, to live in ambiguity, to live in doubts with other, to be skeptical with other, skeptical, skept, and what happens? We try to escape from each other, and we become fearful of each other. We have series of guilties with each other because we are not connected with each other. We have to connect with each other. And the last thing we learned today, that any deepest friend uh, could be anyone, uh, could be your ex-lover, could be your ex-wife, ex-husband, or any relationship can be great. The basic principles are same. The basic spirit is same to connected other person. But if there is any negativity, it means there is no connectedness. If you feel any sort of fraction of doubt about other person, it means you are not connected with others. So these are the litmus tests you can do as well. If you want to make sure that you are connected with someone, okay, even if you have a doubt on your God or your Allah or with your uh, Jesus Christ, or you have some doubt with any other divinity power, it means you cannot connect with them. This ambiguity, these walls, these negative things have to be finished between you and them. Then you are connected, and you will with the connect with all nature. You will connect. You will be perfectly aware. You will be self-aware. That's the message which uh, psychiatrist Dr. David Hawkins trying to say. How important is a relationship? So that's it. If you have any question, if you want to share your story or any incident from your life, please share. And other people are listening. Um, let
Well, Mary Tip, I have something.
Yeah.
You say a friendship, even with like an ex-husband or an ex-lover, that that's still a good friendship. But what do you think that does to like a new relationship where you continue to hold on to your friendship with your ex one? And how would you 100% give to the new person if you're still back with that other one, even if it's just a friendship love? Like, how do you think that affects your new one?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's a great question. I believe if we follow the same principle of love, trust, abundance, whether with a new friend you want to be connected, or whether you want to connect with your ex lover or ex person who you used to be in relationship, and if he or she uh, is and they want to connect with you, then you can connect with them. Otherwise, if they still have negativity, you must not connect with them, with him or her. Negativity, if there is any sense of negativity with your ex-husband or with your ex-lover, you must not connect with them. Never. You can only connect with your ex-husband or ex-lover on on this situation when you see that there is no negativity between you and me. There is no friction between you and him or her. So that's more importantly. And if the same thing you want, you can build with your current person who you are in relationship, then you can connect with that person as well, as. But obviously, you cannot connect with many people at the same time, because this oneness is not something which you can build with anyone or with all people. Yes, with all people on a basic level, but in a deep level there is always one person or one thing which you can connect, or maybe you can connect with at the same time with the god, and at the same time with your lover, current lover or current person who is you are in relationship, you can. So the basic formula is same, uh, of positive feelings. Positive feelings will never let you have any doubts, will never have any fears about other person, will not have any guilty with other person. The other person will understand and you will that person with the spirit of empathy, not just listening, empathy. Whatever is in your mind other person knows, and what other person is thinking you knows. That's will all make alignment. If there is any gaps, then obviously you are not connected, but you still work on that thing to connect with other. Stay. It's not like a 1 plus 1 is equal to two things you will do immediately or you can. No, it will take time. Relationships needs time to nurture it. These things takes time to get a ideal result, but it does result because you are following the natural principle. You are following the natural values. You are not following something which you just learn uh, from today's from a company, which is just uh, humanity knows just now today or few years ago. No, these all natural things, which are positive feelings and values and principles, are forever in our world. That's and these are just we are understanding and we are picking and apply in our relationship. So these are the things. I hope it clarifies something and help you. Um, yeah, if you have any question. So next week we will continue uh, to learn for in positive feelings in relationships, uh, and especially we will learn effect of positive feelings. What happens when we have a positive feelings in details, in a different dimensions and paradigms, and that will be the last series in relationships. Uh, there is another topic episode I wanted to cover about sexual relations in relationships, which is very important for many people because we have sexual drives and emotions with us, and how impact in building the relationships. These are very important, but obviously because this is a public forum, this is a public things, I will not speak on this thing, but if you are interested in this, in sexual relations, in building that relationship, ideal relationships, then you must read this book. There is a chapter separate, and you can get a lot of things regarding this. And uh, that's it. So next week I will see you with a new topic in relationship. That will be the episode number 7 and last episode in in relationship building, in relationship improvement. So I really thankful to my audience on Zoom, on my YouTube, and also on Facebook. Um, I would request you, you can join my YouTube channel. There is a link already. And for your information, I do my podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom every Sunday, 1 p.m. UK local time. And if you can invite your friend and family too, this is a free of cost. We speak 30 minutes, 30 minutes every time, every session, and just it's a 60 minute for 2 sessions. These 60 minutes in a week can change your life. Um, I I will help you how you can change your life, but you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, to attend these regular sessions. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you, Meritive. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
Hi, everyone. Have a good week.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Thank you, Romeo.
week, Jane. It's been long.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
I'll holler at you shortly. I overslept. I am so sorry.
That's okay. Y'all have a good afternoon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone.